Philadelphia has always been a city that understands risk. Eagles fans know how to recognize when the team is playing it safe and when it's walking the thin line between brilliance and absolute danger. And right now, there's a decision being built behind the scenes that carries exactly that weight. It's not something you see on the scoreboard. It's not something everyone notices right away. But it's the kind of choice that, months from now, might be remembered as the moment everything changed. Because when the season tightens up, when the body starts paying the price, and when the road to another Super Bowl feels narrower than ever, winning franchises do something different. They don't wait for the problem to explode. They act early. And the Philadelphia Eagles did exactly that not long ago. A move that, at first glance, looked like a simple course correction, but now raises a much bigger question. A question involving trust, serious money, and a history that divides opinions across the league. To understand why this decision has grown so large, you have to rewind a bit. Go back to the moment when the Eagles' defense lost one of its most important pieces, a player who had become synonymous with pressure in big game, a name that helped carry this team to the top of the NFL. When Josh Sweat left Philadelphia after the Super Bowl and signed a 4-year deal worth $76,400,000 with the Arizona Cardinals, the impact was immediate. That wasn't just a football loss. It was an identity hit, because Eagles' defenses are built up front. Getting after the quarterback in Philadelphia isn't a luxury. It's a belief system. It's practically a rule. And suddenly, there was a very real hole, one that had to be filled quickly before it started costing games that actually matter. That's when, in the middle of the season, the Eagles made a move at the trade deadline. No fireworks, no loud press conferences, just a clean, calculated decision. The team brought in a 6'5", 265-pound edge rusher from the Miami Dolphins, a young, explosive player with elite tools, and a medical history that makes every NFL executive pause before committing long-term. Jalen Phillips arrived in Philadelphia to patch a short-term problem, but it didn't take long before he showed he could be much more than that. From the moment he stepped on the field in midnight green, Phillips didn't need a long adjustment period. He understood the scheme. He understood the pace. He understood what this city demands from someone playing that position. He wasn't dominant on every snap, but he was steady. And for a defense that had lost a cornerstone, that kind of steadiness is priceless. In 8 games with the Eagles this season, Phillips recorded 2 sacks, 4 tackles for loss, and 17 quarterback pressure. Numbers that might not jump off the page to casual fans, but they tell a very clear story to anyone who watches closely. He was there. He affected plays. He forced quarterbacks to speed up decision. And that changes everything for a defense. And the more he produced, the louder one question became inside the building at Lincoln Financial Field. A simple question, but a heavy one. What happens next? Because the NFL isn't just about fixing today. It punishes teams that fail to plan for tomorrow. And that's exactly why league analysts have started projecting a bold future for Jalen Phillips in Philadelphia. According to a prediction from the Bleacher Report, specifically from analyst Christopher Knock, the Eagles could be preparing to make a major move this offseason. A 3-year contract worth $80 million to keep Phillips in Philadelphia. $80 million. That's star money. That's cornerstone money. That's money that sets expectations throughout the locker room. Knox points out that Phillips checks boxes very few available players can check all at once. He's 26 years old. He's just entering his physical prime. He was the 18th overall pick in the 2021 draft, and when healthy, his production is high-end. For some teams, that makes him even more appealing than bigger names like Khalil Mack or Trey Hendricks, especially when thinking beyond just one season. The Eagles are projected to have roughly $22,200,000 in salary cap space. That's not comfortable. And because of that, using the franchise tag on Phillips doesn't make much sense. The projected tag value for linebackers in 2025 sits around $25,500,000. That would lock the team into a very tight financial corner, so the logical move would be to act early. Lock him up before the market heats up. Get a multi-year deal done before or during free agency. Secure a player who already fits the system. But this is where the story gets complicated, because there's one massive concern that can't be ignored. Jalen Phillips has a troubling injury history. And this isn't new. It goes all the way back to college. In his first 2 seasons at Werkla, he managed to play in just 11 games. A string of injuries stalled his development and raised serious questions about durability. The breaking point came in December of 2018. After a moped accident, Phillips medically retired from football. His career appeared over before it truly began. He spent 2 full years away from the game, away from the grind, away from the spotlight. His return came at the University of Miami in 2020, and it was remarkable. 45 tackles, 8 sacks, 16 tackles for loss, 3 pass deflections, and 1 interception in just 10 games. He earned All-American and All-ACC honors, a season that completely rewrote his story. Early in his NFL career, Phillips proved that season wasn't a fluke. In his first 2 professional years, he played all 34 regular season games. He totaled 103 tackles, 15.5 sacks, 17 tackles for loss, 3 fumble recoveries, and 41 quarterback hits. Elite production, the kind that earns big contracts. By 2023, it looked like he was ready to make the jump into the league's elite pass rushers. 6.5 sacks in the first 8 games. Everything was lining up. Then came the Achilles tear, one of the most feared injuries in football. Phillips returned in Week 4 of the following season against the Tennessee Titans, and the script turned cruel. In his very first game back, he tore his ACL. 2 major injuries, back-to-back, a nightmare for any player, and a massive question mark for any team considering a long-term investment. That's what makes this decision so difficult for the Eagles. Because when Phillips is healthy, he gives this defense exactly what it needs. Constant pressure, explosiveness off the edge, the ability to change games without always showing up in headline. But no one can guarantee his body will hold up for a full season, let alone multiple years. Right now, Phillips is unlikely to play in the final week of the regular season against the Washington Commanders. Like most starters, he'll probably be rested. Still, there's an interesting statistical footnote. Despite playing just 12 total games across the 2023 and 2024 seasons, Phillips had a chance to become only the 3rd player in NFL history to appear in 18 regular season games a single year due to a mid-season trade. A strange and symbolic detail pointed out by Anthony DeBona from the Philly Special. And now it all comes down to the real question. The Eagles are standing at a familiar crossroads in the modern NFL. Do you bet big on proven talent and accept the physical risk? Or do you step back, let the market decide, and risk losing another player capable of changing important games? In a league where getting to the quarterback is more important than ever, mistakes at this position are costly. So here's the question I want to leave with you, Eagles fan. If this decision were in your hand, would you sign Jalen Phillips right now to an $80 million contract, trusting that the talent will outweigh the medical concern? Or would you let him hit the open market, believing the risk is simply too high? If you enjoyed this breakdown, drop your comment, hit the like button, and subscribe to the channel. That support helps the algorithm push this content to more fans, strengthens the Eagles community, and keeps this space alive for the kind of deep conversations Philadelphia football deserves.